GameCube games. Well, this isn't the first time I brought them up on this channel. I've talked about them a lot on other discussions, including like some of my rants about Nintendo adding certain games to the Switch and everything. And I always feel like GameCube games have always been left out on Nintendo's consoles, or at least through re-releases in the past 10 years. And it really feels like they're overdue to be re-released in a similar fashion to either Nintendo Switch Online or the Virtual Console on Nintendo console, because they've been, like, they haven't been re-released on the Wii U when they skipped that over with, for some reason they just did Wii games, and then there was, like, a significant gap between Nintendo 64 and Wii. And it's weird that they just didn't re-release GameCube games at all. I don't know the reasoning behind it, or maybe just because it was easy to put the Wii games on there since it already had the Wii menu, but it's just really weird that they skipped out on GameCube games. With the Nintendo Switch Online model, at least at first it seemed like GameCube games were almost completely out of the question until last year when they added Nintendo 64 games. Now it does seem a little more likely that we'll get GameCube games, but it still seems kind of unlikely with how Nintendo is and everything. And I just really hope they actually do release GameCube games, because there's a few reasons why they desperately need to be re-released on a modern console. Because really, for a lot of the games, there's no other way to play them. Like, aside from remasters like Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, technically that's not a remaster, that's just a re-release of part of a collection, and Wind Waker HD, there really isn't many games that are just re-released and everything for the GameCube, unless it's like some specific scenario. So it seems like a lot of games are usually left out. Like, one very notable example is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, because almost every Paper Mario game is available on a modern Nintendo console. Like, obviously Sticker Star, Color Splash, Origami King are on the three newest Nintendo consoles in the past 10 years, and then Paper Mario 64 is available on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch, and Super Paper Mario is on the Wii U. So the Thousand Year Door is the only one missing, and that's a lot of people, including myself, consider that to be the best Paper Mario game, or at least one of the better Paper Mario games. So it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't have the chance to play that game. And another very notable example is Super Smash Bros. Melee, because there's a huge competitive scene behind it still in 2022, and it's a very popular game, even going alongside Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, because they're both very different, even though they're a part of the same series, and they both have dedicated fan bases to like each Smash game. So it's still an ongoing and thriving community, and it's unfortunate that Nintendo doesn't support that at all, even though it's very apparent. And there was that Panda Global deal thing that they did a few months ago, but from what I've heard, they actually canceled it behind the scenes or haven't done anything about it yet. So it's very unfortunate about the state of Super Smash Bros. Melee, because it's a very popular game still, and it would be very beneficial if it was at least officially re-released on the Switch. And there's also a few other great games that haven't been re-released at all, like Kirby Air Ride, which is the last Kirby game that Sakurai developed. It's a really fun Kirby-themed racing game that feels different from a lot of other racing games because it has a city trial mode, and it's very fun overall. And then can't forget Mario Kart Double Dash, even though there's a lot of Mario Kart older Mario Kart content being remastered or re-released in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pack. Mario Kart Double Dash feels completely different to play, and it's definitely a very fun game. So it's unfortunate that we don't really have access to a lot of these games, and they're also very expensive too, because some of them are over $100, like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and a lot of the Mario Party games as well. So it's kind of unfortunate that Nintendo is skipping out on the GameCube, or at least it seems like it at the moment. I really hope they do eventually add them onto the Nintendo Switch. But if they do, I have an idea of how they could be possibly implemented. So, at first, it may seem like they would do a GameCube kind of collection for Nintendo Switch Online, like they have been doing for all the other consoles like the NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, and Sega Genesis. But then you realize GameCube games have a much larger file size than the other console games, or those other consoles. So some of them are over a gigabyte in size and everything, so I feel like it would definitely be necessary to release these separately. But there is still a way they could implement this onto Nintendo Switch Online, which Nintendo would inevitably do. So basically, each game would be individually downloaded from the eShop. Like there would maybe be a separate tab for GameCube, and then maybe eventually Wii, or any other old console that has a larger file size. And you could download the GameCube games from there, and like with the expansion pack, you'll be able to play them while, like, unlimited while you have that subscription service and everything. It would just check the software, kind of like how it does for the DLC and all of the other Nintendo Switch Online apps. And then they could also have the option to buy them individually. I feel like this would work better for GameCube games rather than Nintendo 64 and all the other consoles, because like, since you're downloading them individually, it would be easier to implement a system where you could pay for them individually, so you wouldn't really need the expansion pack to play these, kind of like the DLC. Like, the DLCs are technically a part of the expansion pack. They were made for that purpose, but you could still purchase them without actually having the service and everything. So I feel like with GameCube games, that would definitely be necessary to have like a system like that where people can pay for them like separate, since they're like much larger games, and like I feel like it would be more accessible and everything, and it's not really a part of that one package that they usually have. And they could also implement the online services into them too, like maybe do a menu similar to 3D All-Stars, like where it has like a separate menu and then you launch the game. So I feel like that's probably how it would work. Like, there's a lot of games that would benefit from online on the GameCube, like Melee, obviously, as I mentioned before, Mario Kart Double Dash, Kirby Air Ride, Mario Party 4 through 7. There's a lot of games that would definitely work, and there's definitely a lot of games that could definitely get new audiences if they were put onto the Nintendo Switch. So I really hope Nintendo actually puts GameCube games on the Switch eventually. I know I've discussed it before, but this is a really important topic, and I really don't want these games kind of fading into obscurity. I know that's very unlikely, considering that a lot of GameCube games are popular or have a cult following, and some of them have a consistent following, like Melee, but I feel like at some point, it would definitely be a lot harder to play these games, like even through methods of pirating or emulating. Like, just through the general public, these games are definitely gonna be, like, not as well known as, like, Nintendo 64 or Wii games that consistently get re-released. So I really hope that Nintendo does release these at some point. I feel like some people say that one reason that GameCube games aren't really re-released like other consoles is because, like, it didn't sell as well, or it wasn't as popular. But Nintendo had a solution to the Wii U games not selling well with the Switch, and they re-released those games, even though I don't really agree with that. They're $60 and everything. They kind of didn't really handle it that well, but it's undeniable to say that those games got new audiences when they were released on the Switch, and I feel like Nintendo could definitely do something similar about GameCube games and re-release them. Hopefully not full price. I know, like, I feel like Nintendo at some point wouldn't really charge these 15 to 20-year-old games for full price, so I feel like they could definitely, if they try to handle it right, it would definitely work out. And if they were selling these individually, like I was mentioning earlier, they could probably sell them for between $15 to $20, depending on how much content the game has. Like, maybe a larger game like Wind Waker or The Thousand Year Door could be $20, while smaller games, or I mean, somewhat smaller games, like Mario Kart Double Dash, Melee, or Air Ride could be $15. And just there's a lot of opportunities or things they could do with releasing GameCube games on the Switch, so I really hope they do it eventually. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.